GOP lawmakers are furious about classified security information allegedly leaked by the White House, even suggesting that these leaks were politically motivated and perhaps an attempt to boost the president's image on foreign policy.
Among the most angry has to be Senator John McCAIN, who just happens to be on our couch. Senator McCAIN.
He's awfully happy for angry.
Be on the couch.
Great to have you, Senator.
Senator, always great to see you in person. Senator Feinstein said, "I've never seen it worse in terms of leaks."
Well, I was just going to say, it's a bipartisan anger here. Senator Feinstein, who is the chairperson of the Intelligence Committee, everybody who's been involved in these things is really, really outraged. Here are two of our most important ongoing intelligence operations. And by the way, our allies, it's been revealed that Israelis were with us in this cyber effort with Iran. I can imagine how they feel today.
So the Attorney General has named 2 U.S. attorneys to look into these leaks, to figure out the source. You're not satisfied with that step. Why?
Of course not. Do you think that Attorney General Holder has credibility on the Republican side? This Fast and Furious thing, which they still are unable to get the pertinent
And Friday was
documents
ugly.
from. Yeah, and by the way, it was a Border Patrol agent from Arizona that was killed in this Fast and Furious issue. He doesn't have the credibility. On the Valerie Plame issue, do you remember that? I'm sure you do. They appointed a special counsel for that. They need a special counsel for that.
Somebody who is not beholden to the Department of Justice.
Who does not report to the Department of Justice, who would report to federal judges. And so you'd think the White House would want that just on the credibility issue.
Sure.
But
well, the president said he found it offensive that people like you would suggest that it was done for political gain because there is an election coming up.
One of the anecdotes in the book by Mr. Sanger is when they revealed a lot of information about the bin Laden operation, including SEAL Team 6, and Secretary Gates was very angry, and he went over to the White House and he said to the president's national security advisor, "I have a new communication strategy for you." And Mr. Donlan said, "What's that?" And he said, "Shut the F up." Now, when the Secretary of Defense says that to people in the White House, it's pretty obvious that they're doing things which is, at least in the view of the Secretary of Defense, is harmful to our national security. So here we are with the 2 most important covert operations going on, and they are ongoing, and clearly it puts people's lives at risk.
Absolutely.
Right. And here, Senator David Sanger said this. He said, with the information we got, it's come over a series of months and months of reporting, and the administration knew about the reports ahead of time. In fact, we held out some technical information about the Stuxnet virus at their request. What does that tell you?
Well, he also mentions that some people that he got information from request anonymity because they would, quote, lose their jobs. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that it came from the administration. We need to find out who and what as best we can, and a special counsel is obviously the way to do it.
And does the buck stop with the president?
I think all presidents have that responsibility, and I would think that the person most eager to get this thing investigated would be the President of the United States.
Let's switch gears and talk about something that the president said on Friday that got a lot of attention.
Little trip down memory lane.
Well, let's look at what the president said, and then let's take a little trip down memory lane and see what you have to say about this moment.
The private sector is doing fine. Where we're seeing weaknesses in our economy have to do with state and local government.
Our economy, I think, still, the fundamentals of our economy are strong.
You're the perfect person to ask about this morning.
You know, back then, we had just had a terrible stock market crash. People were very nervous, and I wanted to try to reassure them that the fundamentals of our economy were good. I still don't believe that. But
I'm fine, and maybe that's what he was doing. Maybe he was being reassuring. How do you interpret?
The private sector doing fine. I'd like to go down Central Avenue in Phoenix with him and show him these small business owners and these closed businesses and the storefronts and all of the impact that this recession has had on the economy of the private sector.
Right.
And fundamentally, if I could just mention this, it shows the philosophy of the President of the United States. He believes that having state, federal, and local governments hire more people, that's the answer, the way out. Mitt Romney believes that business creates jobs.
Well, I'm going to ask something. There was sometimes people have gaffes, and they're just gaffes that go into a news cycle. When John Kerry says, I was for it before I was against it, when you mentioned that moment, the fundamentals are fine, do you believe that moment will be as impactful as the moment when you said that, because it was tough for you to shake, and it was tough? John Kerry never shook it.
Well, very candidly, it all depends on the media coverage, and I would argue that a lot of the media is not too unfriendly to the president.
Well,
but
you know that
it's certainly defining in that it describes his philosophy. In other words, again, private sector he thinks is going fine. The way you get out of the recession we're in, longest, by the way, since the Great Depression, is to have government hire more people, have more
firefighters and policemen.
And it's fine to have firefighters and police, and Mitt Romney wants firefighters and police, but he also wants to address the issue that you saw Governor Walker addressing, and that is the out-of-control pension funds and other costs.
You obviously thought you were a better choice for president. Has he been worse or better than you thought as a president three and a half years in?
Well, I think it's very hard to say, but I think that the president clearly has pursued avenues to get us out of this recession, which I think have been harmful to the country. Look, he had 3 major legislative accomplishments in his first 2 years: the Dodd-Frank, the stimulus package, and Obamacare. All 3 of those were, in my view, absolute failures.
Right. In your view, the voters in November are going to have a clear choice between Mitt Romney, who has a vast experience in business and saved the Olympics and everything else, and the president who's had the last 4 years and has done this. All right, John McCain, it's always a pleasure.
Senator, great to see you.
Thanks for having me back.
We know you got a busy day, so we're going to have to let you go.
Great to see you. I'm trying to go back and do the Lord's work in the city of Satan.
New York City? Come on, you love this city.
Washington.
Oh, okay.
That's better. All right, great to see you.
That's Satan City.
Okay.
Not this
You got
Satan
that.
City.
Oh, I thought you meant Las Vegas. All right.